some front page news. Just quickly, some quick sports. Congratulations to Giannis. Giannis becomes the 52nd NBA player to reach 20,000 career points. So salute to everybody out in Milwaukee. All right. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, DJ MV and Charlamagne the God. I'm sure he'll be in soon. And Jess Hilarious. How y'all feeling? Happy Thursday.
Good.
All right, y'all. So top of the headlines, there's a lot developing following President Trump's joint address to Congress on Tuesday, including negotiations with Hamas, an update on tariffs, and a read down on the Democrats. So let's get into it. The White House confirms it is holding direct talks with Hamas over the release of U.S. hostages. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said President Trump believes the talks are a part of good faith effort to do what's right for the American people. The Palestinian militant group is designated a terrorist organization by the U.S. and traditionally, you guys have always heard, the U.S. does not negotiate with terrorists. Well, Leavitt went on to say that Israel has been consulted about the talks. This comes as a 6-week ceasefire between Israel and Hamas expired last weekend. Of course, in recent remarks about the Russian-Ukraine war, President Trump did say in order to negotiate peace, you have to talk to both sides. So in other news, there's an update on tariffs. Automakers are getting a 1-month exemption from tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said President Trump spoke to the big 3 automakers yesterday, and she detailed how the exemption happened. So let's take a listen to White House Press Secretary on auto tariffs.
So the 3 companies that he spoke to are Stellantis, Ford, and General Motors. They requested the call, they made the ask, and the president is happy to do it. It's a 1-month exemption.
Yeah, I wonder how that works for outside companies. You know, there's a lot of them, whether it's Chevy, Ford, Jeep, Buick, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, General Motors, Tesla, even now. But they're saying like some companies like Honda and Hyundai, which they are not from here, but they have factories here that actually build cars in America. So I wonder how that affects them as well.
It might cancel out because, you know, there's also the reciprocal tariffs that are still going to go in effect on April 2nd. So I'm not sure. But the Anderson Economic Group said the vehicle prices are projected to jump between $4,000 and $12,000 due to these tariffs. So.
Well, I will tell you that if that does happen, the federal government's going to have to help these automakers out again. If you look at any lot right now, there's a lot of cars on a lot. People can't afford these cars. They're damn near giving these cars away because people can't afford them. Interest rates are high. So if they charge even more for cars, it's going to be even more cars on those lots, and the federal government's going to have to help them out again.
Yes, it's true. Okay, so moving right along, the White House and GOP leaders are slamming Democrats for their actions during Trump's joint address to Congress. Leavitt again called out Dems for not standing up and clapping for certain feel-good topics, calling their behavior shameful. And House Speaker Mike Johnson said Congressman Al Green will likely face punishment for heckling the president. Let's hear those comments from House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We escorted him off the floor. He couldn't behave himself. It's quite shameful. It brought shame on, I'm sure his constituents are not proud of that tonight, but I suspect that there'll be a censure resolution brought on the floor to discipline him. We have to do that inside the House. We have to maintain decorum. It was really quite a spectacle. You know, and if they're going to use a 77-year-old heckling congressman as the face of their resistance, then bring it on, but we're not going to tolerate that on the House floor, and I don't think the American people are going to tolerate that either.
So just a censure resolution, just for the record, is a formal punishment for such actions like heckling and things of that nature. It's kind of like getting a written referral from a teacher, except it's Congress. And the interesting fact about this, I wonder if Speaker Johnson will keep that same energy with his Chief of Staff, Hayden Haynes, who was recently arrested, cited, and released after being charged with a DUI on the same night on Capitol Hill. He is set to have his day in court, but in the meantime, Speaker Johnson said he's going to stick beside him and allow Haynes to continue leading the Speaker's office. So police say that Haynes actually backed into a Capitol vehicle around midnight. He was arrested but released with a citation to appear in court. So, I'll keep you guys posted on what happens in regards to that situation. Any thoughts on those stories?
No, I do understand. You know, everybody has the right. They can boycott, they can walk out, they can do what they want to do. But it has to get to a point where we have to get on a common ground, right? We have to see eye to eye on certain things because it's not hurting anybody else but the regular person, right? If the Democrats look at one thing one way and the Republicans look at it one way, but if we don't see some type of common ground, it's just going to hurt us even more and more and more. We have to figure out how we can work with each other. How, we're not going to agree on everything, but I just feel like this stance that we're doing is just making things worse. And it's what Charlamagne always says. The gap between the have and have-nots is increasing and increasing and increasing. And I get it. There's so many things that we disagree with, but there's a lot of things we do agree with, like the prices of food that's rising. Today I heard that rent is at an all-time high, and we're talking about all these things, and people are losing their jobs. People can't afford it. We have to get back to a place where we can sit at a table and have a conversation and try to do what's best for the American people, and not just what is best for each other's pockets. You know?
Yeah, well said, Envy. In fact, You said it. So that's your front page news for 6 a.m. At 7 a.m. We'll talk about the purse strings that Congress holds and how Elon Musk has to respect that. And the other topic is sanctuary cities. Things got a little heated on the House floor with that topic. So we'll talk about that at 7.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. Phone lines are wide open. Get it off your chest. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Quick sports. Salute to everybody in Milwaukee. All right, Giannis is the 52nd NBA player to reach 20,000 career points. So congratulations to him. Now, what's up, Morgan?
Listen, what's up is Congress holds the purse strings, and they still do. Elon Musk has to respect that. That was the message that was sent on Capitol Hill yesterday as Musk met privately with GOP senators. They basically told him that we know of, because it was a private meeting, that they support what he's doing with Doge to root out waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government agencies. But a lot of what he's doing needs to be approved with a vote in Congress. Charlamagne was talking about this all week. There's a way to do things, right? So Musk was on Capitol Hill yesterday, where he met privately with GOP senators who told him that his Doge workforce cuts need to be approved in a vote in Congress. They even talked about codifying those cuts into law in an effort to make them permanent, possibly passing a rescission package. Now that's above my my expertise, my smarts, but that's basically how they're going to try to approach this whole situation. Musk also reportedly gave out his cell phone number to those senators, and I don't know who's going to check into that for possible waste, fraud, and abuse, because that was a private meeting. But anyway, switching gears, let's talk sanctuary cities. There was yet another heated exchange between representatives in Congress yesterday. This time it was Boston's Democratic Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley versus Kentucky's Republican Congressman James Comer, arguing in an oversight committee hearing that about sanctuary city mayors. Now, here's what happened when Congresswoman Pressley tried to say which articles she was entering onto the record. Let's hear that audio.
Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born Americans commit more rape and murder than immigrants.
Listen, this trend of you all trying to get thrown out of committee so you can get on MSNBC is going to end. We're not going to put up with it.
This is my procedural right as a member of this committee.
You can go with Mr. Frost and Mr. Green.
I'm reclaiming my time.
That's what you want. No. Ms. Presley, I have been very accommodating to you. Mr. Ciofalo,
and I take particular umbrage as a survivor of sexual violence. I will enter into the record. This is my right. Thank you.
No.
That's Congress, y'all. So what she was trying to say before she was interrupted was that in 2018, U.S.-born Americans commit more rapes and murders than immigrants. And as you heard from the audio, Comer responded by saying, this trend of you all trying to get thrown out of the committee so you can get on MSNBC is going to end, and we're not going to put up with it. So, of course, Congresswoman Pressley was among the group of Dems who held up signs and walked out during Trump's joint address to Congress on Tuesday. She said that she couldn't sit through the speech and give an audience to someone who operates with lawless disregard for Congress and the American people. Back on the topic of sanctuary cities, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is standing 10 toes down, saying that the Chi will remain a sanctuary city despite facing criticism from Republican members in Congress. While testifying yesterday, Johnson said that Chicago's welcoming city ordinance doesn't lead to more crime. Let's hear more from Chi Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Chicago's welcoming city ordinance and our other laws and policies do not lead to more crime. They do not prevent cooperation with federal law enforcement on criminal matters. And we do not harbor criminals. We arrest them.
So the mayor had several fiery exchanges with Republicans, including South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace. That's why I was like, where is Charlotte? Because this is his girl. And also Illinois Representative Darren LaHood. Now, Mace asked the mayors a series of yes or no questions. And when they answered anything but yes or no, well, let's take a listen to that exchange.
Mayor.
Any individual that
Yes or
causes
no?
harm
Yes or
and
no?
breaks
Okay,
the
Mayor
law
Wu.
should be held accountable.
This is why you have 6% approval rating, because you suck at answering questions.
Jesus.
Ooh, she read him down. So New York Mayor Eric Adams was also among the 4 sanctuary city mayors who were called to testify about their city's policies. Let's take a listen to his comments during the congressional hearing.
The sanctuary city classification does not mean our city will ever be a safe haven for violent criminals. Comprehensive immigration reform is long overdue. While the solution is not within my control as a mayor, I am committed to working with federal officials to go after violent gangs and those who harm residents of our city.
So the mayor, of course, Eric Adams, has faced criticism from his own party for not doing enough to stand up to the Trump administration and accusations he's working with Trump in an attempt to get his federal corruption charges dropped. In addition to New York City Mayor Eric Adams, Chicago's Brandon Johnson, there was also Denver Mayor Mike Johnston and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, who also testified in that hearing. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I do have a question. If DOJ is freezing funding for Chicago and New York and other sanctuary cities, where are these cities going to get the funding to house the migrants and to feed the migrants and all that? Where's that money going to come from?
And your guess is probably as good as mine. Probably at this point, it's good. It could be the crowdfunding type of efforts, grassroots efforts, nonprofit. But if federal funds are not going to be issued, that's a serious, that's a serious situation.
Because you can say you're a sanctuary city, but if you're not getting any funding to house or to help or to feed or to clothe, what happens from there?
It'll probably fall on the private sector and in nonprofit organizations and things of that nature. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that I'm not. A lot of this is very unprecedented. So it's almost like, can you really truly withhold funding for certain situations, certain
They're already
scenarios?
been doing it.
Yeah.
What's up, Charlotte?
Yo.
Hey, Charlotte. Uncle Charlotte, how you feeling?
Peace,
Good?
Morgan.
Good. All right. Well, I was gonna say, your girl Nancy Mace was doing her she was reading down Democrats in a committee hearing yesterday. So I don't know. I'm gonna let you get settled, but I'm not gonna get too much into that. All right. So that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media, and for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at binnews.com. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Morgan.
Wake that ass up
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.